reminds me we should probably... I'm going to record this in case we want to use any of this. All right, looks like you came up here. Now, I'll be honest. You don't have to go for the runes as the carry, because actually you'll notice here. So it may not seem like a lot. You're like, I don't know, if I had to guess, you're like 5 seconds away from the creep wave. But in that 5 seconds, equilibrium can be affected. So for example, you miss the chance to block, you miss the chance to manipulate it in your favor. You know, you're kind of, at best, getting a neutral lineup. And sometimes you'll miss some of the first, last hits or denies. So see right here, let's say Axe wasn't here. He's missing the chance to hit his creep if he's not here right away. And this creep falling below 50 right here, you're missing the chance to hit this right away. So as the carry, unless you're literally going for first blood, I'd probably recommend just letting the rest of your team do it. I think both people don't need to be here, you know, like so the support can go. But I would say for you, you want to be there. Now you've pushed the lane right away with that spin, which can be okay if that's your plan. You got a tango right away though. All right. Any delay in tangoing will kind of add up. This is Alex does this too. Although yours is faster than Alex. Like if you delay your tango for 5 seconds, like that's a good chunk of health. You know, that's like a whole auto attack right there. And sometimes that can make the big difference. Now you kind of see what happened because you pushed out the lane a bit. You're in a bit of a scary spot. I would say Juggernaut, level 1 has a hard time getting kills unless he has the right support with him. But usually the support wants to whittle them down first, and then you spin. So let's see. Right here, your friend probably wanted to be pulling. So we're going to miss the small pull. You guys can attempt a hard pull. I do like that you got a point in healing ward because you were so harassed. I'm glad you did that. It's adjusting the skill build for how the game's going. It does mean we're in an awkward spot though, right? So I hate to like re-emphasize this because it seems like really boring, but like the tone of the laning stage is often set in the very first wave. So let's just look at it one more time real quick and then we'll kind of zoom up ahead. But it really does come down to this. In fact, there's a video on this. What's it called, guys? It's like 3 tips to not lose your lane instantly or something like that. It's some clickbait garbage. Cybernet Sauvignon, thank you. Welcome. I'm glad you like the YouTube videos. So let's say you're here, right? Let's say you didn't even block too much. You were over here. Maybe, here's the thing. So you went for this rune, right? If you just position for this rune and you like take a look and you don't even go for it, you'll end up in the lane faster. So instead of here, you're like over here, which means you do get here like as the creeps meet. So if anything, if you want to peek over here, that's okay. But again, I think you can honestly just ditch it. So let's say you start here, you can block the first creep forward. You can start hitting your own creep. Like right here, you start hitting it. Now at this point, it's still okay. I think the fact that you spin in here is guaranteed to shove your lane. Yeah. And because you don't start with the salve, you don't want to go crazy, you know? You have to play the way your items reflect. And without a salve, what your items are saying is, okay, like we lane a little bit, we might trade a little bit, but the tangos will help me out. The salve means like, I'm going to go crazy, or the lane might go crazy. It might not be me, the enemy might do it. We're going to go crazy, we're going to lose all our health, and then we're going to salve all the way back up, and we're going to be good to go. In this case, Axe doesn't have a salve. So like the amount of harass you got on him was great, but then you don't have a salve either. So now you're like, oh wait, now I got to deal with this ranged hero, and we push the lane out. So Axe is a little happier. He's losing health, but he's going to be in a better spot for himself. Whereas you lost health, and now you're like, oh, actually this part of the lane sucks. You did it for the last hit. Yeah, honestly, I think missing the last hit might be safer for you. That's not to say it won't always work. Like maybe if you do that spin, you actually want to run into Enchantress a little bit, by the way. It's really weird, right? But I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be Nyx in this lane and the harass wasn't going to be as strong. Once you see, oops, sorry, we're looking at Axe. Once you see it's an Enchantress though, I would buy yourself more regen. Looks like you bought something, so we'll see what it is in a second. But I'd probably buy more tangos. Okay, so you bought the Wraith Band, but let's think about how you're going to get harassed in this lane. So the completed Wraith Band, The only real difference between the slippers and the circlet is the 5 attack speed and 1.5 armor. Attack speed's fine, but the armor is not going to do you much in this lane because counter helix is pure damage, and axes I think should start with battle hunger, and that's magic damage to harass, although it's not usually used on the carry. And then enchantress is also pure damage. So this armor is not going to help you that much. So you kind of just need straight up HP, or you need some kind of mana to use the healing ward to give you HP. All right, and once we're here, it's awkward. Your friend needs to pull. So what needs to happen when the lane pushes out like this, pretty much what you have to do, you have two choices. One is to shove, like the support stays up here and you safely shove the lane in to their tower so that the tower kills off your creeps and kind of resets equilibrium. There's no full guarantee that works though, because the enemy off lane can kind of hold the creeps here for a bit, or drag them through, or maybe you have a big enough creep wave that they come into the tower, but they just meet the enemy creep wave next, and it ends up not really doing too much. The other option is you kind of sacrifice these 3 creeps here, the enemy creeps, and you're going to just like survive, right? Don't be a pub carry and go like, I gotta go get those 3 creeps on my own and die, right? So Wind Ranger would go right now to go pull the small camp, and you have spin as Juggernaut. Oh, you don't have mana right now, but in general you have spin, so you kind of can go for these a bit more than other carries. But if you were to miss some of these last hits, it's not a big deal. Just get the XP, because the pull is going to fix the lane. And so when the lane is fixed here and we can hold it here for the next couple minutes, we are kind of long-term investment, right? We're going to give up these 3 creeps, but we're going to get like the next, I don't know, 4 waves, let's say, if we can keep it here for 2 minutes. And like that overall is better than keeping this here for like the next 2 minutes and then having a rough time.